Hello everyone, my name is Alan and I'm with Darkscape Studios. This is another Keep It Lit video for you to show you some of the new features we're releasing in version 0.2.0. If you look at the lower left-hand corner of the video here, you can see the version. When you update this in Steam, you will see the new version number and you will have these additional features. So I'm going to start off by opening up one of our campaigns here in the campaign editor, and for this video I'm going to open a campaign which is called let's see. It is called the Torch and Lantern Demo. There we go. So I'll double click that and open up the campaign. I've got 3 different player characters here just as a demonstration. And under maps, I have just a single map, which is our dungeon. I'm going to double click that so we can edit it. And we'll see our dungeon map come up here. We do not want to restore anything from autosave. That's fine. Right now, the light and visibility for the DM's view here is turned off, so I'm going to turn off the lighting effects so we just can see what the map looks like by itself. It will go ahead and turn on walls so you can see all the walls there, and I'll turn on the wall editor just for a moment so you can see where all our vertices are on this map. Okay, turn off the wall editor, and I'm going to double click our tokens so you can see our player tokens here. And I'm going to turn on some light sources. Now, when we could talk about light sources, our new lanterns and torches, I'm going to go ahead and delete these. We're going to create these from scratch, okay? So right now we don't have any light sources. If I turn on the lighting effects, you can see the map is totally dark. The players would be literally in the dark on this map. But I'll turn those lighting effects off for the moment so we can just sort of navigate a little easier. First thing I'm going to do is go right-click here, and I'm going to say Add an Entity, and I want to add a light. And if I zoom in on this, you can see we've changed the light icon. It's no longer a light bulb. It's now looks like a little flame. Now, this is just a generic light. You could put this anywhere you want. You could make it a fixed wall sconce torch, or maybe the glow from a campfire, or from even like the glow from a summoning circle or something like that. You can, of course, change the colors to whatever you'd like in any of the different color formats. You can turn the light on or off just with the switch here. We've now defined light types. So we have a constant light, which of course is just going to be constantly on all the time. This is typically what you as a DM might use for fixed lighting sources inside the dungeon. You can also click on this and select 2 other options. One is a timed torch and the other one is a timed lantern. If it's a timed light source, it means it's connected to a torch timer. In Shadow Dark terms, you have lanterns or torches, and the difference being the range of the radiation of light. So with a torch, it's near, and with a lantern, it's double near. So that's really the only difference here. But if they're timed, they're either going to be on the global torch timer or they're going to be on an independent torch timer. And this is really something you can set up as the DM, depending on how you want to use your light sources and the torch timer in Shadow Dark. If I go over here to Other on the side panel here, you can see we have some new campaign settings. Under campaign settings, there is a global torch timer. I can switch this to global or switch it off, meaning that each torch or light source will have its own independent timer. There's also a new button we've added here called Lights Out. If you have some sort of event that happens, you can click this and automatically turn off all lights that the players are carrying, which are going to be either timed torches or timed lanterns. Okay, so first of all, I've created a light source, and the next thing I need to do is I need to associate this with some object. We have a new token type, so I'm going to go to Tokens here, and I'm going to scroll down through my list of tokens that I've created. And I will go all the way down to the torch. I've got a torch right here, and I'm going to drop that here on the map. And I'll double click it to enable it. So it's a torch just like any other monster or NPC you might see in our virtual tabletop. But over here under the token type, you'll see that this is an object. So we have players, NPCs, decor, and objects. Objects are kind of cool because the player tokens can hold objects. So I'm going to take light, which is kind of like a property, and I'm going to drop it right here on the torch, and it disappears. Now our torch will radiate light. So as you can see here, the torch itself is a light source. Okay, and if I let's see here. Take this torch now. I can take this object token and equip it to a character. So I kind of move it over here and it will snap to them. If you're using the player version or client version of Keep It Lit, you will not be able to grab the torch and drag it around like I just did as the DM. But if your player token is adjacent to or very near a torch or a lantern object, or any object for that matter, you'll be able to right click and there will be an option here to pick up that item. So you can pick up the torch. Okay. So now you can see that this character Barb, our half-orc barbarian, can move around the screen and she is carrying the torch. Now I can right click on her and say drop torch, in which case she will drop it, move around, and then some other character could come over to it and they would be able to pick it up. Okay, and then of course they can drop the torch as well. So drop torch. So we have a torch here that we can basically now hand off. So if Barb had the torch in her hand, she's moving around in our dungeon environment here, and she decides she wants to come over here and pass the torch off to another character. She can just simply come over here and go drop the torch, move away from it. The other character can come move over and pick up the torch, and now they have the light source and they can move it around as they see fit. Now I'm going to create another one here. I'm going to add another entity, which is a light. I will double click it and I will turn it on. Now what I'm going to do is add another token. And in this case, I want a lantern. So let me go find my lantern here. Grab a lantern and I'm going to drop that on the map. Double click it to enable it. Now I'm going to take this light, which is turned on. It's a constant, but I'm going to set it to a timed lantern. And I'm going to equip that here. So now I have a lantern that radiates light in the distance of the double near. And of course, as you recall from earlier videos, in the wall editor, we can select this edit mode and go to our world scaler. This purple line here determines the range for near. So the lantern, of course, is going to be double near. Okay, I'm going to turn off the walls now so you can get a little bit better preview of what this is going to look like. I'm going to take the lantern and I'm going to equip it to Belle here. Now Belle has the lantern and she can take it and move it wherever she'd like. She can go here and drop the lantern as well. Putting it back here, maybe Bodhi now drops the torch and he'll come over and pick up the lantern. Okay. If I right click on the token, you can see there's another thing you can do here, which is extinguish the lantern, put it out. You can also see a snapshot of what is the torch timer at this moment. So these are set on independent torch timers right now. Let's see, does Barb have? Barb does not have a light source, so we'll give it her one. We'll right click on her. Let's see. I'm going to have her drop the torch for a second. Now, why do we have? It's an object. Let's remove the light source for a second. Oh, the problem is here that light source is constant. So we want to make this a timed torch. There we go. Okay. Now, when she has this object, if I right click, you can see she's got 59 minutes, 55 seconds left. Bodhi, on the other hand, if I right click him, has 58 minutes and 59 seconds. So these are independently timed. So these lights will go out at different times. If, on the other hand, I want everything to run on a global torch timer, so I want everything to be synchronized, so all the light sources will burn out together, I can go over here to Other and select our campaign settings and go to Global Torch Timer, turn that on. Now, if I look at this, she's got 59 minutes and 57 seconds, and we should see Bodhi very close to that, 59:53. If I hit lights out, all the light sources will go out. So now the players are all in the dark. And then I can right click Barb and say ignite her torch. Now this would typically consume another torch in Shadow Dark by the rules. She would have to strike a new torch if she has one. She currently holds a token, which is an object giving her the capability to light a torch. But of course, you would have to double check on her character sheet that she actually has a torch to ignite and then adjust the inventory on her character sheet appropriately. But if she did have a torch, she could ignite it and then light it again. Bodhi might have another flask of oil, in which case he could reload the lantern and then ignite the lantern again. And you as the DM, of course, can decide how long those actions might take. Okay, so that's how our new lights work. So they're exchangeable. Again, even with the global torch timer, Bodhi can drop the lantern, move away from it, and Belle might go over here and say, pick up the lantern. This is what it would look like from the player's perspective. So she picked it up and now she has the lantern. So the torch timers persist even when a player drops a light source, like a torch or a lantern, and another character picks it up. The torch timer persists through that entire transition. So I think this reflects what the designers of Shadow Dark were intending in terms of the way light sources would work. I would typically recommend that you use the global torch timer, because if you don't, if you allow everyone to have independent torch timers, then what players will naturally want to do is have the times of the light sources staggered. They might have 2 torches running and have one ignited at, say, time equals 0, and then 30 minutes later have the second torch lit so that they are never cast into darkness, which kind of defeats the whole point of Shadow Dark as a game. Typically, you want to have the players have to deal with the stress and the anxiety and the potential threats of being in absolute darkness in one of the dungeons. Another thing you'll notice when we have it on global torch timer, you look down at the lower left corner here, you will see that the global torch timer is showing down here and reading out constantly. This is not shown to the players. It's up to the DM to decide how much information they want to provide. Clearly, in the real world, if you were to light a torch, you have no idea when it's going to burn out. The DM can make this as vague or as precise as they'd like to, but the players don't have the ability to query it directly. They can say, how much time has my torch got left? And, depending on what kind of DM you are, what kind of game you want to run, you might look at this and say, it looks like it's a fresh torch. It's pretty new. Maybe when it's down to 10 minutes, if they ask again, you could say, well, it's starting to sputter, but it looks like it's still got some time left. However you want to handle that, that's up to you. Even when I go and right-click on a character and it says Extinguish Lantern, this time is not shown to the players, so they don't know how much is left. That's up to you to like I say, divulge as much information as you think is appropriate for your game. So that's one of the newest features we've just added in release 0.2.0. I think this is a really good feature, and I think you're going to really like it. You will also notice some of the other iconography has changed. I'll turn the lighting effects off, and you'll be able to see this whole map. We've changed the way our door icons look. It's the new icon. We're going to change our exit icons here very shortly and be doing some nice work on exits. We've added like annotations now. We've made the scrolls look a little nicer with a black border around them so they kind of pop a little bit more. So many different kinds of embellishments we've gone through, and hopefully you're going to find these to be really useful in your campaigns. Everything seems to be working quite nicely. We've done quite a bit of testing on it, so I think you're going to find that this new release is really beneficial, and we'd love to hear any feedback you have. If you think that torches might work differently, or maybe there's an additional mode of operation for torches or lanterns in Shadow Dark, please let us know. We want to make sure this is accurately represents the rules, and not only rules as written, but rules as implemented by most people that are playing Shadow Dark these days. So if you've got some other house rule or a homebrew rule that you use for managing torches, please let us know. We'll consider adding it to keep it lit. All right, thanks for your attention. Have a good one. Take care.